Hi there, my name is Nicole Hebert with the Musha Journey to Hope team, and this is Voices of Recovery.
I wish I could tell you when the light switch went off for me. I don't know. All I know is that the light switch, whatever, like I always say this, I call it the light switch when you realize, hey, this is a new way of life that I want to live. It gradually got there. I just know that without housing first, like I was homeless for years, in and out. Like I'd get an apartment and I'd screw it up within a couple months. And jail was probably my main home, are the streets, right? And from city to city. So it was when I was accepted into drug treatment court in Regina that I was given this apartment. I didn't have income yet. I didn't have any of that stuff set up. I literally just got out of jail. So, and they were giving me this apartment and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is mine. Like I just went from this cell where I had to share with all these girls in this unit and to having a bathroom, a shower, and like with a bedroom and and a kitchen. Like that was crazy to me, that I was given this. And of course there's conditions that come with it, right? Like I do have to pay the rent eventually here, and I need to participate in this court mandated program. But without that safe home, there's no way that the treatment program that I was doing, because you're working on yourself, you're digging deep, right? Like we're not looking at the things we did while we were using, we're looking at the things prior to till we ever picked up, right? Or for me anyway, before I had ever picked up the drug, I was an addict. So I had to look at that stuff that happened way back when, that I chose to use drugs to cope with. So going home after doing all that work, I was going home to, I come from a good family. So if I had been going home to family that that was some heavy trauma that I just dug up at drug court. So if I was going home to my family, which I had years of practice manipulating, it would have been easy to use drugs to cope with the stuff that I was bringing up there. Some of it's re-traumatizing, right? And so I could have picked up those drugs. I knew what to say to my family to be like, okay, go have fun shopping at the mall, like really I'm going to the drug dealers. So the fact that I was in a house with 24-hour staff and sober living, if you screw up, if you use, you're not kicked out, you're given a chance to go to detox. So there was the staff members there were probably trained to deal with people like me that had years of practice at manipulating and doing things like that. So I really credit Kate's Place to a lot, because nothing else would have worked. I also would like to say too, like it's not just like we have all these agencies that are trying to do stuff, and it's great, like they're doing great things, but when we all come together so that we can link services and like nobody's competing against each other, because this service might not work for me, but it might work for you, right? And so if we know like, hey, the service I provide isn't working for this person, but maybe this, my competitor's service would. And I think, like I said, at drug court, we had a social worker that was assigned to the drug court that set us all up, and she knew how to get us there's an extra benefit because we were living in supportive housing, and she didn't hide that. She helped us get that. We had a doctor come every 2 weeks to help us. So having all those things all connected was a huge part. But like I said, nothing would have worked without that house. I needed that safe place to go, and when drug court was over. So
yeah, drug court as well. I know with drug court, there's some educational programs that are provided through there. Can you recall what some of them might be and how resourceful they would be?
Like some of the programming that we had while there. So I went to Regina's, not Musha's, but Musha's been like, they're getting there, and I credit my criminal thinking. Changing that was the hardest thing to do. Like I put the drug down, but my first thought is still always wrong. Like I had to learn how to cope with my thinking, right? Because I spent so many, like 15 years out there if I saw it, I wanted it, it was mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I took it. And I had to change the way I think. And in order to do that, like I did 12-step programs. I did all this other stuff while I was in drug court, but it wasn't until I started moral recognition therapy. It's called MRT. It's a popular thing down in the States with people that are in jail and stuff. And now we're bringing it here into Canada, and they have the pre-MRT books. They have, you know, they have books for domestic violence, like sexual abuse. Like, it's amazing. I would love to become a facilitator for it. But yeah, that program, like, it, you know, it pissed me off. Like when I didn't pass a module, or when I got feedback I didn't like, but you know, it helped. You know, the thing is like, I wouldn't pass the module with my peers and with people to help me get through those feelings. So, I mean, even when I didn't pass, it helped me grow.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And like, I learned to realize that I was, you know, a lot of the things, the beliefs that I had as a child that I grew up with weren't true. And I had to break those beliefs, and I had to overcome them and come up with my own, like, with new beliefs, right? And that, you know, and I learned, you know, in there, the very first chapter talks about manipulation as children. Like, we learn, we cry, we get a bottle, we cry, we get our diapers changed, you know, like we learn to manipulate at such a young age. And how do we break that? So, and
Yeah.
I just love MRT. So
Yes, and that's a wonderful thing to talk about too, because there are so many different educational paths that people take on recovery, on healing, that just stand out for them. So they all really do matter, and so I think that is so important to talk about.
yeah, and the cool thing about MRT is, like, the very beginning, it's about like trust and dishonesty and changing that, and then towards the end, like, it's got 12 steps in there too, and towards the end you start to learn how to do goal setting, and like and how to do realistic goal setting, and then how to become like a part of it. Like, I remember one of the things was trading places, and like I had to pick somebody I wanted to trade places with, and then I had to depict, like, to break that down. Why did I want to trade with these people? What did they have that I wanted, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it just made me self-aware of, like, the things, like, aspirations and goals that I had, you know, like those, because I don't just need to be jealous of these people. I can actually get what they have. It's not the material things that they have. It's like, you know, their self-confidence, the, you know, like you said, community, being respected in the community was a big thing. And yeah, I don't know. It was like, it broke me down and built me back up. So,
Yes. Yes.